I used to think going lighter meant giving up. I was wrong, and it took me years to figure that out. The right hair color doesn't just change your look. It changes how fast people guess your age before you even open your mouth. Some shades pull warmth toward your face and soften every line around your eyes. Others do the opposite, and most women over 60 are wearing one of those without realizing it. Today I'm walking you through 7 colors that do the heavy lifting for you. No filler, no colors that only work under studio lighting, just the ones that actually read as younger in real daylight, at the grocery store, in photos your grandkids take. I researched the best color choices and the most flattering fixes for women over 50, so you get real results fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every single week. Part 1. Soft Caramel Balayage, the color stylists reach for first. Here's something most women don't know about caramel balayage. It isn't really about the color at all. It's about where the light lands on your face. Flat, single-process color sits the same way across your whole head. No shift, no depth, nothing for the eye to travel toward. And when there's nothing for the eye to travel toward, it goes straight to the areas you'd rather it skip. The lines at your mouth, the shadow under your chin. Caramel balayage breaks that up. The color is hand-painted in soft, uneven ribbons, lighter where your hair naturally catches the sun and deeper underneath. So instead of one flat mass of color, your hair has movement. And movement pulls the eye up, toward your cheekbones and your eyes, not down toward everything you're trying to soften. I remember a client, a retired teacher, mid-60s, silver coming in strong at the temples, who told me she hadn't changed her color in almost a decade because she was scared of looking like she was trying too hard. That fear is common, and it's almost always backwards. The women who look like they're trying too hard are usually the ones clinging to a color that stopped working for their skin a long time ago. Caramel balayage doesn't scream for attention. It just quietly does its job. The actual fix is specific. Ask your colorist for a low-maintenance balayage using 2 tones no more than 2 shades apart. A warm caramel and a soft honey underneath. Painted in vertical sections starting about an inch from the root. Skip a full foil pattern. Balayage grows out softly because there's no hard line where new growth starts, which means you're not chasing a salon appointment every 4 weeks just to hide a stripe at your part. That alone changes the entire relationship you have with your color. Instead of dreading the regrowth, you barely notice it. What changes as a result isn't subtle. Warm caramel tones sit close to the undertones already present in most skin that's spent 60+ years developing warmth and character. Cool, ashy tones, the kind a lot of women default to because they associate them with sophistication, can actually wash out an aging complexion, making it look more tired rather than less. Caramel does the opposite. It reflects warm light back up into the face, and that reflected warmth reads, instantly, as more rested. People don't consciously register, her hair color is flattering. They register, she looks well. That's the whole game. There's also a texture benefit nobody talks about. As hair thins with age, flat single-process color can make each strand look almost see-through under bright light, which draws attention to sparse areas. The dimension in balayage tricks the eye into perceiving more density than is actually there, because the eye reads variation as volume. A colorist I spoke with put it simply: dimension is the cheapest volumizer that exists, and it costs nothing extra at the appointment. Here's the before and after that makes this real. Before, flat, single-tone medium brown, roots and ends reading identically, no shift anywhere across the head. After, soft caramel ribbons woven through, lighter pieces framing the face, deeper tone underneath holding it grounded. Same woman, same haircut. The only thing that moved was the color, and it took roughly 10 years off in every photo taken after. But caramel isn't the only shade doing this work. There's a color at the opposite end of the spectrum, cool instead of warm, that does something just as powerful, and it's one most women are terrified to try because they assume going lighter and going gray mean the same thing. They don't. And the next shade proves it. Part 2. The silver shade that actually works, and the honey tone right behind it. Most women over 60 have been told the same thing about going silver. Don't, unless your hair is already fully gray and you have no choice. That advice is outdated, and it's keeping a lot of women locked into colors that stopped serving them years ago. Icy pearl blonde, a cool, luminous silver blonde, is different from letting your gray grow out. It's a deliberate, salon-formulated tone that mimics the most flattering version of gray, the kind with a soft violet-blue undertone that neutralizes yellowing and reflects light like polished pewter rather than dull ash. The reason this works specifically for women over 60 comes down to contrast. As skin loses some of its natural pigment with age, harsh dark hair can create a stark line against the face that emphasizes every shadow. Icy pearl blonde softens that line into something closer to a gradient, so the transition from hair to skin feels seamless instead of abrupt. The specific fix: if you're not naturally gray yet, ask for a toner-based glaze over lightened hair using a violet-based formula rather than a straight blonde bleach. This is the detail that separates icy pearl from brassy yellow blonde, which is the mistake that actually ages people. If you already have natural gray coming in, ask your colorist for a gray blending gloss, a translucent color wash that evens out patchy silver and adds the same pearlescent shine artificially colored icy blonde has. Either path gets you to the same destination: hair that looks intentional, not simply undyed. The result is immediate and it's not subtle. A silver blonde with the right undertone reflects far more ambient light than dark hair does, and that reflected light bounces up into the face the same way a photographer's reflector does on a portrait shoot. Skin looks brighter. Under eye shadows soften. It's the single fastest color change for instantly reading as more rested, and it works especially well on women whose skin has cooler undertones, the ones who've spent years fighting warm colors that never quite sat right. Now the shade sitting right next to it on this list works through the opposite mechanism, and it's just as important: warm honey blonde. Where icy pearl cools everything down, honey blonde does the reverse. It adds golden warmth back into hair and skin that started to look a little sallow or flat under everyday lighting. This shade is built from a base of warm gold and light caramel, blended so there's no single dominant tone, which keeps it from reading as a solid block of color the way older, blonde highlight techniques used to. The fix here is a foil technique called money piece and weave. Heavier, brighter foils placed only around the face where they'll do the most visual work, and a lighter, more natural weave through the rest of the head, so it doesn't look like a solid dye job. Ask specifically for 10 volume gold toner rather than a straight blonde bleach out, which prevents the shade from drifting brassy between salon visits. The snapback result: honey blonde around the face reflects warm light directly onto the cheeks and jaw, and that warm reflection reads as healthy circulation, which is one of the most reliable visual cues the brain associates with youth. Here's the before and after that tells the story clearest. Before: dull, flat medium brown hair with no shine and a slightly gray, tired cast under indoor lighting. After: warm honey blonde woven through the crown and face framing pieces, catching light instead of absorbing it. Same bone structure, same features, but the whole face reads brighter and more alive. 2 shades down, 5 to go, and the next one is the color most stylists quietly consider the safest, most universally flattering option on this entire list. It's also the one women underestimate the most. Part 3. Rich chocolate brown with caramel highlights, the underrated depth shade. There's a quiet assumption a lot of women make once they hit their 60s. That darker colors are off the table entirely, that anything but blonde or gray reads as harsh. That assumption costs a lot of women a shade that, done correctly, might be the most flattering deep color that exists for mature skin. Rich chocolate brown isn't the same as the flat, almost black box color a lot of women wore in their 30s and 40s. That flat darkness is exactly what ages a face. It creates too much contrast against skin that's naturally lost some pigment intensity, and the eye reads that stark contrast as harsh rather than rich. The version that works for women over 60 is built differently. A warm-based chocolate brown as the foundation, broken up with soft caramel highlights placed strategically around the face and through the crown, so the depth is still there, but it's never flat. The specific fix: request a warm chocolate base with baby lights, thin delicate highlights, thinner than traditional balayage, woven throughout the top layer and concentrated around the hairline. Baby lights create a soft, almost sun-kissed effect rather than chunky streaks, and that subtlety is what keeps deep brown from reading as severe. Ask your colorist to keep the base 2 to 3 shades lighter than jet black. True black brown is almost never flattering past 50, because it has almost no warm reflection in it at all. and skin needs that reflection to look alive. The result shows up first in the eyes, oddly enough. Rich, warm brown with caramel dimension creates a natural frame that makes eye color pop dramatically more than either very dark or very light hair does. There's enough contrast to define the face, but enough warmth in the highlights to keep everything soft. One hairstylist described it to me this way. Dark hair with warmth is a spotlight. Dark hair without warmth is a shadow. That's the entire difference in one sentence. There's a practical benefit too, one that matters more the longer you've been coloring your hair. Chocolate brown with caramel highlighting is dramatically lower maintenance than full head blonde. Root regrowth is far less obvious against a warm brown base than it is against platinum or icy tones, which means you can stretch appointments to 8 or even 10 weeks without the harsh grow-out line that sends most blondes back to the salon every month. I want to give you a specific example, because this is the kind of change that's hard to picture from a description alone. A viewer once wrote to me describing her hair as the same brown I've had since 1998. Flat, uniform, no light moving through it at all. After switching to warm chocolate with baby-light caramel pieces, she said the first thing people noticed wasn't the color itself. It was that she looked less tired, which is exactly the effect this shade is built to create. Nobody clocks the technical color name. They just register that something about her face looks more awake. Here's the transformation laid out plainly. Before, flat, uniform dark brown with no light reflection anywhere, reading almost black under indoor lighting, and creating hard contrast against the skin. After, rich warm chocolate base with soft caramel baby lights woven through the crown and hairline, catching light and creating a natural frame around the face. If you've been avoiding depth because you assumed it meant going harsh, this is the shade that proves you were working with the wrong version of dark hair the whole time. The next two colors take a completely different approach. Cooler, quieter, and in one case, the exact shade most stylists say gets requested more than any other in their chairs. Part 4. The quiet neutral and the champagne everyone's asking for. Soft ash brown gets dismissed constantly, and I think it's because the word ash makes people picture something cold and gray-toned in a way that feels aging. That's not what a properly formulated soft ash brown actually looks like, and the difference matters. True soft ash brown isn't the muddy greenish ash a lot of women remember from box dye disasters in the 90s. Professional ash brown today is built with a neutral base, not warm, not cold, sitting right in the middle, which makes it one of the most universally wearable colors on this entire list, because it doesn't fight against any particular skin undertone the way strongly warm or strongly cool shades sometimes do. For women whose skin has shifted slightly over the decades, picking up both warm and cool patches, a neutral base color is often the most forgiving choice available. The fix: ask your colorist for a neutral-based demi-permanent gloss, specifically requesting they avoid any formula with a heavy blue or violet base, which is what causes the muddy, dull effect people associate with ashy hair gone wrong. A well-mixed neutral tone should still have a soft, warm undertone hiding beneath the surface, enough to keep it from ever looking flat or gray adjacent, but not so much warmth that it reads as brassy by the third week. This is a color that depends heavily on the specific formulation, so bringing in a photo reference for your stylist matters more here than with almost any other shade on this list. The snapback result with ash brown is subtler than some of the others, but it's arguably the most durable. Because the tone sits neutral, it photographs consistently across every kind of lighting, warm indoor bulbs, cool office fluorescence, natural daylight, without shifting toward brassy or gray depending on the room. Women who've struggled with a color that looks different every time I see a photo often find that inconsistency disappears entirely with a true neutral base. That consistency itself reads as put together, polished, deliberate. Sitting right alongside it is the shade I mentioned earlier, the one requested more than almost any other in salons right now: Champagne Blonde. Where ash brown works through neutrality, Champagne Blonde works through subtlety. It's a soft, muted blonde with the faintest hint of pink beige running through it, quieter and less golden than honey blonde, less stark than icy pearl. It sits in the space between all the other blondes on this list, which is exactly why it flatters such a wide range of skin tones. The specific request here: a champagne toner over a soft blonde base, built with a pink beige undertone rather than gold or ash. Ask for it to be applied as a gloss rather than a full lightening service if your hair is already blonde or light gray. This keeps the look soft and prevents it from turning brassy the way a straight yellow gold blonde can within just a few weeks. The pink undertone is the detail that makes this color specifically flattering for mature skin, because pink tones reflect warmth toward the cheeks in a way that reads as healthy color, almost like a natural flush, without adding any actual golden brassiness. I want to walk through what changes physically when someone makes this switch. A woman with pale, slightly sallow blonde hair, the kind that's gone a little brassy and dull between colorings, often looks tired in a way that has nothing to do with her actual energy that day. Once champagne toner is applied, the pink beige undertone sits against the skin and creates a soft reflected glow along the cheekbones and jaw. The same visual effect a well-chosen blush creates, except it's happening constantly, in every kind of light, without any extra effort required each morning. Here's the transformation side by side. Before, brassy yellow-toned blonde with dull, flat ends and no dimension. After, soft champagne blonde with a gentle pink beige undertone, catching light with a quiet, polished glow. 2 down in this part, 1 shade left on the entire list, and it's the boldest one here. If you've been told bold color isn't for you anymore, the next shade is going to make you rethink that completely. Part 5. Copper red with subtle highlights. The bold choice nobody warned you about. Of everything on this list, this is the shade women over 60 ask about the most, and then redirect away from at the last second, almost every time, because they've absorbed the idea that red hair is for younger women, or too much past a certain age. I want to correct that directly, because it's simply not true when the shade is formulated properly. Copper red, done right for mature hair, isn't the loud, uniform fire engine red people picture. It's a warm, burnished copper, closer to a polished penny than a stop sign, softened with subtle highlights woven through so the color has movement instead of sitting as one flat, saturated block. The reason this shade specifically flatters mature skin comes down to undertone matching. Copper sits almost exactly where warm, aged skin naturally lives on the color spectrum, which means instead of fighting the complexion, it echoes it. The specific fix: ask for a copper glaze over a warm base, using a formula built with red, orange, and gold pigments rather than a pure, cool-toned red. Request subtle face framing highlights in a lighter copper gold, placed only around the hairline and through the top layer, so the overall effect reads as dimensional rather than solid. This is a color that fades faster than most others on this list, so plan on a gloss refresh roughly every 4 to 6 weeks to keep the tone from drifting toward a duller rust. That maintenance rhythm is worth knowing before you commit, so it doesn't catch you off guard. The snapback result with copper is the most dramatic on this entire list, and it happens fast. Warm copper tones reflect an enormous amount of light back toward the face compared to any brunette or neutral shade, which means skin looks instantly brighter, almost lit from within. It also creates striking contrast against most eye colors, particularly green and hazel, making them appear more vivid without any additional makeup. One colorist described copper as the shade that gets the most compliments in the chair, every single time, because it photographs like confidence. There's an emotional layer to this shade too, one I've heard from more than one viewer. A woman who wrote in after finally trying copper at 68 described walking into a family gathering and having her own sister do a double take before recognizing her, then immediately asking who did her color. She said it wasn't really about the compliments. It was that for the first time in years, she felt like her hair matched how she actually felt inside, rather than quietly aging faster than she was. Here's the full transformation, laid out clearly. Before, dull, faded reddish-brown with no real pigment left, reading closer to rust than an intentional color. Flat and lifeless under most lighting. After, rich, warm copper with soft face-framing highlights, catching light and creating genuine dimension across the whole head. That's all 7 shades, and every single one of them works through the same underlying principle. Dimension and undertone, not the specific color name, are what actually determine whether hair reads as tired or alive. Whichever one you choose next time you're in the chair, bring a specific photo, name the exact undertone, and don't let anyone talk you into playing it safe with flat, single-process color ever again. You now know 7 specific shades, 7 specific salon requests, and exactly why each one works against mature skin. That's more color knowledge than most women get in a decade of appointments. Walk into your next salon visit knowing precisely what to ask for, and you'll never sit in that chair feeling unsure again. Which of these 7 caught your eye the most? The icy pearl silver or the bold copper? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. Next week I'm covering the haircuts that pair best with each of these colors, so the whole look works together, not just the shade on its own. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.